Chapter 8, Broken. Trixie's attack on the forged shard had been a complete success. The magical gem that sustained the portal to Equestria was now gone, and the tower under Trixie's hooves was beginning to shake. In the distance, the two portals began to waver. In a matter of moments they would collapse, cutting off the only way to escape the undead plane. Rarity was hovering in the air just off the floor of the tower, flapping the delicate wings that Trixie had given to her. She had a look of great concern on her face. Rarity knew that if she abandoned Trixie and left her behind, the blue magician was as good as dead. The tower was on the verge of collapsing, and Trixie would not survive its collapse. Trixie surely knew that, but yet Trixie had chosen to give the wings to Rarity instead of keeping them for herself. Rarity now deeply regretted the way she had been treating Trixie. She had completely misjudged her.
"Get out of here!"
Trixie screamed.
"That portal is going to close any second now." "I've got it!"
Rarity exclaimed.
"Turn yourself into a breezy." What? I don't know what you're talking about." "Then just make yourself smaller. Then you'll be tiny enough and light enough to carry." "Can't you do that? You're a magician, aren't you?"
Trixie suddenly understood Rarity's plan. She immediately cast a spell that shrank herself down to just a couple inches tall. Rarity quickly leaned down, grabbed her, and threw Trixie onto her back.
"Now hang on."
Rarity soared off the collapsing stone tower and raced toward the Manhattan portal as fast as she could fly. She knew her wings were in danger of being torn apart, but she couldn't delay. The two portals were already beginning to waver. She flew faster, lunging through the turbulent air of the undead plane. Trixie desperately grabbed onto her mane and hung on for dear life. On the ground there was some commotion as spectrals screamed at the sky, but Rarity had no time to worry about that. All she could do was hope that she was moving too erratically to make a good target. Then, all at once, the portal that led to Manhattan collapsed in a burst of dark green energy.
"No!"
Trixie screamed. Rarity changed course and lunged at the portal to Canterlot. She flew faster, faster. And made it. Just before the second portal collapsed, Rarity burst through the gate and appeared in the darkened plains outside Canterlot. As soon as she was on the other side she heard the stone portal disintegrate behind her. They had made it without any time to spare. The moment the portal collapsed, the spectral army that was in the surrounding area vaporized. 1 second they were there and the next they were gone, leaving behind only Pegasi and bat ponies. But all was not well. Rarity noticed that many of the Pegasi were injured. The ground was littered with fallen ponies. Rarity fervently hoped they were just unconscious. In the distance she saw a group of bat ponies huddled around a prone figure, but she couldn't quite see who had been injured. Trixie jumped off of Rarity's back and returned herself to her regular size.
"Thank you for saving me,"
Trixie said.
"It was my pleasure. I'm sorry I've been such a fool lately. You showed a great deal of generosity back there, which is something I wasn't expecting. It seems I have been a rather rotten friend."
Trixie suddenly noticed that Rarity had lost her grayness and was white once again.
"Look at you. You're back to normal." "Later, darling,"
Rarity replied. The white pony folded her wings at her sides.
"That's not important right now. Do you see that group of bat ponies over there? I think something is terribly wrong."
Trixie looked to where Rarity was pointing and felt a stab of fear pierce through her heart. The bat ponies had parted and the two friends could now see what the commotion was all about. Princess Luna was lying on the ground, surrounded by her guards. She was clearly gravely injured. As soon as Celestia heard the news, the princess galloped out of her throne room and into the long hallway that was just outside.
Where is she? Where is my sister?
That's when she saw her. Luna was on a stretcher that was being carried by 4 of her loyal bat ponies. A doctor walked beside the stretcher and was whispering something to his nurse. A short distance away, Trixie and Rarity followed behind. The 2 elements were absolutely filthy, they were covered in dirt and grime, and their hooves left a long trail of mud on the royal carpet. But Celestia didn't even notice them, nor did she pick up on the fact that Rarity now had her own pair of wings. All she noticed was the broken condition of her sister. Celestia ran up to Doctor.
Well? How is she?
The doctor looked back at her. There was a great deal of discomfort and unease on his face.
Luna has been in and out of consciousness ever since it happened. She's in a great deal of pain, as you might imagine. This is the worst sort of injury that any unicorn could sustain. It's a miracle she wasn't killed instantly.
Celestia took a step closer to Luna to get a better view of her, and then screamed. Her worst nightmare had come true. Luna's horn was completely gone, and blood oozed out of a terrible wound in her forehead. Her cutie mark had been replaced by a deep, bleeding gash. The magic had gone out of her mane and rendered it inert and lifeless. Luna's breathing was labored.
Can't you do something?
Celestia asked.
No, he cannot,
Luna whispered hoarsely. She opened her eyes and looked at Celestia.
There is no cure for this, sister, as you well know. Even if I could regrow my horn, my magic is gone and will not return. I will never fly again, nor will I be able to raise the moon. I am afraid that you must now become the princess of the night.
No, Celestia screamed, crying. She fell to the ground beside her sister.
No. Please, oh please, no. This isn't possible. This can't be happening. What is the matter?
Luna asked, as she struggled to breathe.
Did you think that victory could come without cost, or battles could be won without sacrifice? But not you. I didn't want this. How could this happen? What monster did this to you? You did,
Luna replied.
What?
Celestia shrieked in horror.
What are you saying? This was your doing, sister. You did not do it intentionally, but you did it all the same. You poisoned the minds of the elements of harmony, robbing Equestria of its greatest defense. You broke the harmony of the land, allowing the necromancer to return to this realm. You then refused to leave your castle to defend Equestria, so I was forced to take your place.
No, Celestia wept. She shut her eyes, but the tears would not stop.
Please, no. But do not worry, sister,
Luna continued, as she fought to remain conscious.
A hero has arisen to save us all, and that hero is Trixie. She will battle the necromancer and she will defeat him. She will take on the role that you can't be bothered to do, the role of defending the innocent from torment and death.
Luna looked Celestia in the eye.
You will be happy to know that her victory over the darkness will cost Trixie her life. You will get your wish, sister. Trixie will die to fix the problem that you caused. That will mean you have managed to kill 2 elements of magic, not to mention destroying your own sister. I wonder, how many more will die while you stew in your guilt and do nothing?
Luna, Celestia said, sobbing uncontrollably.
I am so sorry. I never meant for any of this to happen.
But Luna did not respond. She had lost consciousness. Her doctor spoke up.
Excuse me. I hate to interrupt, but Luna requires immediate medical attention. I must take her to the infirmary at once. Will she die?
Celestia asked, as tears streamed down her face. The doctor shook her head.
No, I don't think so. She will live. But she will never be able to do magic again. I am afraid that we no longer have a princess of the night, but I really must tend to her injuries immediately. She is in great pain. I'll let you know when she can receive visitors.
As his nurse followed at his side, the doctor had Luna carried to the infirmary. Celestia remained behind, crying her heart out. The princess was completely overcome by sorrow. Rarity and Trixie had never seen her that upset before. She was completely unglued. The two elements were both heartbroken to see what had happened to Luna. Trixie considered Luna to be one of her only friends, and her strongest supporter. Trixie hated this war and she hated what it was doing to the ponies around her. First Applejack was broken, and now Luna. She wished there was some way she could heal them, some way she could put them back together, but she knew that was far beyond her abilities. But at least they were still alive. They were both hurt, but they would live, and as long as they were alive there was hope. Their doctors might have written Applejack and Luna off as lost causes, but Trixie refused to do that. She would not abandon them to a life of pain. If she could not heal them herself, then perhaps she could find someone else who could. This also cleared up another mystery. Now we know where all the bad ponies went, Trixie thought. They were trying to save the life of their princess. I suppose I can't fault them for choosing her over me. Meanwhile, Celestia continued to cry. She simply could not stop. Rarity and Trixie stood uncomfortably in the hallway. They didn't want to bother the princess, but they didn't want to just leave her there either. After all, she was clearly devastated. It would be the height of rudeness to walk out and let her cry alone. But what is there to say? Trixie wondered. Celestia hates me. If I go up to her now and try to comfort her, she'll probably throw me through one of her expensive stained glass windows. I'm already in enough pain as it is. My back legs are killing me. Rarity finally broke the silence.
Trixie, I don't mean to rain on your parade, but what plan do you have to defeat the necromancer that involves your demise? Because I would really like to talk you out of it and persuade you to find a different course of action. I don't want to lose any more friends.
Trixie looked at her and sighed.
I don't know, Rarity. I really don't. Maybe that's just how it has to be. No.
Celestia shouted.
I refuse to let any more ponies die. Do you hear me?
Celestia struggled to her hooves and wiped the tears from her eyes. There was a look of determination on her face.
Because of my foolishness, my sister has had all of her magic ripped from her body. She will never again raise her beloved moon, or fly through her wondrous night, or arrange the stars in the sky. She can no longer watch over the dreams of her subjects. I ruined her life, Trixie. My actions cost Luna her magic, and her cutie mark, and her power. I cost her everything, and I am so sorry. But it stops here. Luna is going to be the necromancer's very last victim. I will not allow him to take any more lives. I am going to save the ponies of this land, and I am going to be the princess I should have been all along. If any pony else is going to die in this struggle, then let it be me. You don't deserve it, Trixie.
Trixie suddenly noticed that Celestia had returned to her normal color. All traces of grayness were gone from her mane, and her coat was a brilliant white.
Well, thank you, Your Highness,
Trixie replied.
But Trixie really doesn't think it would be a good idea for you to die. With Luna, well, injured, you're the only one left who can raise the sun and moon. If both of you were gone, then Trixie doesn't know what we would do. Equestria needs you.
Celestia walked over and put a hoof around Trixie's neck.
I know, Trixie, and I intend on finding a way to win this war that does not take any pony's life. I, too, want to live. But I am so sorry for what I did to you, and I promise you that I will not let you die. I will fight by your side as my sister did, and we will defeat this menace. I will give you whatever support you need. I do not know what future my sister saw for you, but I will change it.
Trixie looked up at her.
So you're not going to kill Trixie? Absolutely not,
Celestia said gently.
Equestria needs its heroes, and you are one of the bravest ones I have ever known. It would appear that you dealt the necromancer a severe blow tonight. After you have had a chance to clean yourselves up, I want you to gather the rest of the elements of harmony and bring them here. It is time we brought the necromancer's reign of darkness to an end.
It was almost noon the next day before all of the elements reached Canterlot. The ponies at the Manhattan portal had no idea what happened to Trixie and Rarity. When they saw the portal collapse but did not see any pony emerge, they assumed that the two had not survived. They were glad to hear that the mission was a success, but their gladness was tempered by Luna's serious injury. Rainbow Dash, Fluttershy, and Pinkamena did not emerge from the Everfree forest until that morning. When they reached Ponyville, they found Celestia's guards waiting for them. They, too, were devastated to learn what had happened to Luna, and agreed to accompany the guards back to Canterlot. Applejack also insisted on coming along. Over her doctor's repeated protests, Celestia's guards carried the seriously injured pony onto the train to Canterlot. Since Applejack refused to stay in the hospital and recover, her doctor sent along a nurse to accompany her. When the four elements arrived in the capital, they were immediately escorted to the palace. Now that all 6 elements were reunited, Celestia held a meeting in one of her council chambers. Trixie was shocked to see Luna there. Her head and flank were heavily bandaged and she looked absolutely terrible, but she was present. Trixie guessed that she refused to stay away, especially when the fate of Equestria was about to be decided. It was very difficult to tell Luna no. Trixie also saw that Shining Armor was there. Celestia had told her earlier that morning that Shining had arrived with a large contingent of guards from the Crystal Empire. Trixie was very glad to have his support. Before the meeting began, Rarity walked over to her. Trixie smiled when she saw her.
You know, those wings look good on you. It's a real pity they'll only last a few more days. Why, thank you, darling. I agree they do look fabulous, although I don't really have anything to wear with them. I'm not usually a winged pony, you know. I do wish they were permanent, but I suppose we can't all be alicorns. But that's not why I came over here. I have something for you.
Rarity levitated an elegant blue bag over to Trixie, who took it with her hooves. Trixie looked at it in surprise.
What is this? Oh, it's just a little something I put together for you. I thought it might help.
Trixie opened the bag with her magic and levitated out its contents, and gasped. Inside the package was a pointed purple hat that was covered in light blue and yellow stars. The package also contained a purple, star-studded cloak that was complete with a jeweled clasp.
I can't believe it. I never thought I'd see these again, It's my magician's hat and cloak. Well, as near as I could make them, anyway. I happen to know that the fabric you liked so much was sold right here in Canterlot, so last night I stopped in to buy some. I made the outfit myself this morning. I do hope I got your size right.
Trixie stared at the outfit in amazement. The hat was beautiful, and exactly the right size. The cloak matched it perfectly. If anything, they were even better than the originals.
Thank you,
Trixie said, as she put on the cloak and levitated the hat onto her head.
Thank you so much. You have no idea how much I've missed these. Well, I thought you might enjoy looking fabulous again,
Rarity replied, smiling. Everyone then took their positions around the table. Applejack remained on her stretcher, tended to by a nurse. She was heavily bandaged. Beside her was Luna, who was also on a stretcher and also tended to by a nurse. Celestia and Shining Armor took places at the head of the table. The rest of the elements lined up on the other side. Celestia began the meeting.
Last night the necromancers suffered a serious defeat. Trixie and Luna closed the two portals he had opened that allowed him to bring the undead into this world. This act destroyed the armies that came through those portals, which was a great victory, but unfortunately, it did not render the necromancer defenseless. The reason we know this is because last night Fluttershy led an expedition into the Everfree Forest. She discovered that the necromancer has established a base at my old castle, and he has a mighty army. How he acquired that army I do not know, but I do know it did not vaporize when the portals were closed. This means...
Luna interrupted.
One moment, please. Rainbow Dash.
The Grey Pegasus looked over at her.
Yes. Are you still going to keep your promise to me? Or are you going to break your word, now that I am injured and helpless?
Rainbow Dash sighed.
Of course I'm going to keep my promise. Why does every pony think I'm such a big jerk?
Applejack spoke up.
Do you really want an answer to that? Because if you do, I can give you a whole list of reasons. I'm sure that won't be necessary,
Celestia said.
Rainbow, what promise are you talking about?
Rainbow blushed.
Well, why see, Luna made me promise to stop being so mean to Trixie. She said that if I didn't, she would take my wings and... It doesn't really matter,
Trixie interrupted hurriedly.
Trixie has no doubt that Rainbow Dash will be there when we need her. Rainbow defended Ponyville with valor and infiltrated the Everfree Forest at night. Trixie is sure she can be trusted. You do?
Applejack said, surprised.
That's crazy. I wouldn't trust Rainbow as far as I could throw her, which ain't very far these days.
Fluttershy spoke up.
Applejack, I think that's maybe a little too much honesty.
Celestia suppressed a smile.
As I was saying, the necromancer has established a fortress in the Everfree Forest. Fighting him in that forest would be suicide. It's dark, it's dangerous, and his position is well defended. I believe it makes far more sense to implement Trixie's original plan. We must lure him out of the forest and engage him in the plains outside of Canterlot. Once he is out in the open, I can unmake his crown from a safe distance and force him back into the world of death from whence he came.
Rarity spoke up.
That makes sense to me. And it doesn't involve Trixie's death, which is very comforting. But how do you intend on luring him out of the woods? I believe the Tree of Harmony is the key. My old castle was deliberately built in close proximity to the tree. The only reason the necromancer can live that close to the tree is because the tree has been weakened. If we can restore it, the tree's light will drive him out of the forest and into the open. I don't get it,
Rainbow Dash said.
What happened to the tree? I'm afraid the tree has been poisoned. You see, the tree is connected to the elements, and the elements are connected to the tree. When the elements are united together in harmony, the tree is strengthened. However, when the elements are broken, when they are lost in darkness, then the tree loses some of its power.
A look of regret came over Celestia's face.
When I heard the news of Twilight's death, I responded with anger and guilt. I broke the spirit of the elements and turned a great many ponies into darkness. That act seriously damaged the tree. In fact, it damaged the harmony of this land so much that the tree could no longer protect our world from the necromancer. That is why all of this has happened. If the elements can reach the tree, I believe we can heal it. That alone may defeat the necromancer and save our land.
Trixie spoke up.
That plan sounds great, but don't the elements have to be fixed in order for it to work? I don't think we're quite there yet. Hey, don't go blaming all this on me,
Rainbow Dash exclaimed.
You can make me be nice to Trixie, but there is no way you can make me care about her. I've got my limits.
Celestia sighed.
4 elements are better than none. Perhaps that will prove to be enough to drive the necromancer out of the forest. If we can reach the tree, I think we can help it.
Trixie spoke up.
I'm sure we can find a way to make it work. How many troops are we going to bring with us? Troops?
Celestia asked.
Yes, troops. The necromancer has tens of thousands of them, and you can bet your last bit he has surrounded the Tree of Harmony with an army. So far all I'm seeing on our side is an apple farmer that's too injured to even stand, 2 Pegasi that are too injured to fly, a baker, a seamstress, and a stage magician. I think we're going to need a little more help than that to do this. Excuse me, darling,
Rarity said.
I'm really more of a fashion consultant than a mere seamstress. I'm a designer, really. And a good one, too. This outfit that you made for me is amazing. But let's be sensible here. Celestia, we are going to take along an army, right? Right. I suppose that makes sense,
Celestia said slowly.
Great. Where are your troops? Can I see them?
Shining Armor spoke up.
I brought hundreds of crystal ponies. If you want, I'd be glad to.
Shh, Trixie cut him off.
Not right now. Celestia, you were going to show me your troops. All right,
Celestia replied.
This way.
Celestia spoke to one of the guards at the door, who quickly ran off.
If everyone will follow me. That's not necessary,
Trixie said quickly.
Applejack and Luna are too injured to move. Pinkie, Rarity, and I will be fine.
Rainbow Dash spoke up.
Hey, I refuse to be left out of this. What are you trying to pull? You're going to leave Applejack and Luna by themselves?
Trixie asked.
Really? Is that what passes for loyalty these days? I'll stay with them,
Fluttershy volunteered.
Fine,
Rainbow said glumly.
I'll sit tight. But hurry back. Waiting is so not cool.
Luna looked at Trixie curiously. She knew the blue pony was up to something, but couldn't figure out what it was. She decided to simply wait and see what happened. Whatever Trixie was about to do, she obviously didn't want Rainbow Dash, the most hostile element, anywhere near. Luna didn't really blame her for that. Celestia left the conference room and led Trixie, Pinkamena, and Rarity through her castle.
What are you up to?
Rarity whispered to Trixie.
You'll see,
she whispered back.
Just trust me.
After a few minutes, the small group reached an inner courtyard. Out in the yard were 100 guard ponies, all lined up in neat columns and all wearing a set of shining golden armor. Every one of them was holding a spear, and every one of them was gray. Trixie stood in front of the line of soldiers, then turned to Celestia.
I'm afraid we can't take these troops into the Everfree Forest, Your Highness. We simply cannot fight darkness with darkness. They need to be fixed before they can be used. Because they're gray?
Celestia asked.
Exactly. Don't you agree that they would be more effective if they were their normal selves? I do,
Celestia said. She sighed.
I have done so much damage to this world. Perhaps if I gave them a speech.
Trixie interrupted.
No, don't bother. Luna tried that earlier and Rainbow Dash couldn't have cared less. Speeches just don't work. What these ponies really need is a little joy in their lives. That will turn them right around.
Trixie levitated off her hat and cloak and gave them to Rarity.
Can you hold on to these for a minute, please?
Rarity took them.
What? But I don't understand. Trixie, what are you?
Trixie's horn glowed, and a moment later her entire appearance changed. The blue pony, tuned pink, and her mane turned into a bouncy pink wave of energy and life. Her horn vanished and her cutie mark changed into a trio of balloons. Not only did she look exactly like Pinkie Pie, but she even sounded like Pinkie. Pinkamena the Graya looked at Trixie.
What in Equestria do you think you're doing? It's simple.
Trixie said, in a voice that perfectly mimicked Pinkie's.
Do you see those ponies? Do you know why they're gray? Well, I'll tell you. They're gray because they're sad. All over Equestria ponies are sad. They are heartbroken. Their lives are full of sorrow. Do you know what they need? They need laughter. They need to remember what happiness is, and they need to smile again. This whole land has gone dark, and that is a problem that can only be fixed by the element of laughter. Right now this world is in desperate need of a clown. Since you won't laugh any more than I will be the element of laughter and bring them joy.
Pinkamena got a very strange look on her face.
What do you even know about laughter?
The pink Trixie walked up to the guards and spread her front hooves wide.
All right, every pony, I want to see you smile.
No one smiled. Rarity face hoofed.
Trixie. It's okay, I've got this,
Trixie said.
No you don't,
Pinkamena said.
You have no idea what you're doing. Hey, it works for you, doesn't it? I've seen you do this before. And now I'm you. So it should work for me, right? Nope,
Pinkamena said, shaking her head.
Trixie, the reason I can make every pony smile is because I know every pony, and every pony knows me. I know their names and their birthdates and their likes and their dislikes. I know what makes them smile, and they know that I care about them. I have a relationship with them. When I say I want them to smile, they know I mean it. We have a connection, and you don't have that. Do you even know the names of any of these ponies? Not a problem,
Trixie said airily. She magically pulled a whoopee cushion out of nowhere.
All I need to do is hold this up in the air and squish it. Then they will smile and all will be well.
This time Pinkamena face hoofed.
That prop doesn't work that way. You can't get laughs just by squeezing it in plain sight like that. You've got to hide it and use it as a prank. Do you have any idea how pranks work? Sure. You just pull tricks on people. I trick people all the time. I'm an expert at it.
Pinkamena sighed.
That's not it at all. You have to pull the right prank on the right pony. The prank is all about getting ponies to laugh and find humor in what you've done. The best thing to do is to pull pranks on your friends. It's part of having a relationship with them. Trixie, if you want to get ponies to smile, you have to love them. You have to care about them and be their friend. It's not about just being silly and doing stupid things. You've got to have a lot of heart. At least, that's how I do it. And I was the best. And why did you do it?
Trixie asked.
Because bringing joy to ponies means the world to me. To see ponies smile, to see their faces light up and their frowns turn upside down, well, that's what makes my life worth living. That's my special talent. I bring joy. And this world desperately needs joy right now,
Trixie replied.
Equestria is full of unhappiness, Pinky. Ponies have forgotten how to laugh, and they've lost hope. But you can fix that. You can make the world smile again. You can push back the darkness and fill the world with joy. The truth is we need the old Pinkie Pie back. Equestria just isn't the same without her. Will you do that for us? Will you come back?
Trixie heard someone sobbing, and turned her head to see who it was. She was surprised to see that Celestia was crying.
I'm so sorry, Pinky,
the princess said.
I'm sorry for all the horrible and mean things I said to you. I would give anything to take it all back. You're not a fool at all. Trixie is right, you truly are laughter and joy, and that is something we desperately need. Can you forgive me?
For a long time Pinkamena said nothing. She stared at the grey guards in front of her. Then, all at once, her color changed back to pink. A moment later the bounce returned to her mane.
Of course I can,
Pinky said. She ran up and hugged Celestia. And then she turned to Trixie and laughed.
You know, you are a terrible me. It takes more to be me than just looking like me, you know.
Trixie smiled. Her horn lit up, and a moment later she was back to her normal blue. She rushed over to Pinky and threw her front hooves around her neck. Rarity ran right behind her.
It's so good to have you back,
Trixie said.
It certainly is,
Rarity agreed. Pinky smiled.
Hey now, I was a pretty good ninja assassin. Did you see my moves?
Trixie shuddered.
Pinky, I never want to get in a fight with you. But trust me, this world doesn't need more darkness and death. What it needs is joy. Can you provide that? You bet I can.
Pinky exclaimed. She then turned her attention to Celestia's guards and giggled.
This is going to be fun. And I know fun.
As Pinky worked her magic, Trixie let out a sigh of relief. Her gambit had worked and Pinky was now her old self. Trixie had no intention of bringing any of Celestia's guards, despite what she had said earlier. She knew that an army could not help them. But now she had one more element on her side. What she really needed was to fix Rainbow Dash. But she knew that wasn't going to happen. Rainbow would never forgive herself for not accompanying Twilight to the Griffin Kingdom, and that meant she would continue to deal with her pain by blaming everything on Trixie. There was simply no way to fix that problem. This isn't going to work, Trixie thought to herself. The tree will not react unless all of the elements are fixed. The last time the elements went gray, Twilight had to repair all of them before she could defeat Discord. That means there is only one option left,